The premium people mover market is just about to get shaken up again, thanks to Zeekr. In this video, I'm going to uncover some of the recent news that I found that I think is going to be coming real soon to the Australian market for the Zeekr 009. If you want to actually jump straight through that, use the chapter codes below or click on the link to take you through to that chapter where I go through the change of details that I think is coming real soon. Otherwise, we're going to kick off with the competitors who it's not competing against, and then we'll look at the pricing for those competitors, and then we'll look at the 009. So strap in. If you're interested in getting a people mover or an electric people mover, then this video is for you. Let's go. Alright, so let's talk competitors. So I think in the people mover market, if we talk about numbers for the people mover segment, Kia Carnival, that absolutely dominates the market. There is no competition based on price point, versatility, capability, right? Then we talk about the upper end of the premium market. You've got the Zeekr 009, and then in terms of that price bracket in the premium market, you've got the competitors like the Mercedes EQV. Then from the imported side of things, you've got the Toyota Alphard, Toyota Velfire, and then also locally supported recently, over the past year or two, you've also got the Lexus LM. Now, out of those competitors that I've just mentioned in the ultra premium luxury people mover end, only the Mercedes comes in an electric form. And the features and everything, we'll have to park for a separate video. If you're interested in all of that, let me know in the comments below. I'll draft something up and hopefully I'll push it out to you all to enjoy. Anyways, let's look at some pricing first before we look at anything else and we jump straight to the news for what I'm going to tell you about. So what you see on screen at the moment is the Zeekr website for the 009. So we click on order now. Let's actually talk through pricing. So once we're on the price configurator page, you'll see basically two variants over here, the 7-seater and the 6-seater version. It's a 2+2+3 and 2+2+2, meaning the third row in the 7-seater has 3 seats and the 2 seats in the 6-seat variant. So in terms of power and mileage or range, 686 k's on ADR range for the 7-seater version, 4.5 seconds to 100 and 450 kilowatts dual motor. Same thing in the all-wheel drive, you'll see the specs are exactly the same. So realistically, the difference in your $4,000 is really just to have a wider and a bigger seat in the second row. And also that also covers off in the 6-seater, you do have the fold-out table tray. I don't know the official name, but you do have a fold-out table tray where you can kind of do work or you can write and do whatever you need. So the 7-seater doesn't have that because the seats are a little narrower, so you can walk through into the third row. So that's your $4,000 difference. Bit of a wider seat and also the walkthrough to have the third row seats or access to the third row seats. So with the motors, it's 450 kilowatts total, 250 at the rear, 200 at the front. Then you've got the colors which are standard across the lot. You've got the same wheels and then you've got a couple of interior color choices as well. So as I said, pricing wise is $135,900 and $139,900. Now if we click continue, I want to take you through to the price page. Okay, so the figures, the final dollar figure. So at $135,900, you are looking at a driveway price of $149,427, right? So $149 something. Now, if we go back, this time we'll select the 6-seater version. So remember it was about $149,427, I think it was. Let's just say 149 or 150. And this one is 153,627 for the 6-seater version. So again, it's roughly your $4,000 odd difference as well, based on the calculations for the tax and whatnot. So we're talking about roughly $150,000 driveway car. Let's look at the competitors. Let's start off with the Kia Carnival, which is just a people mover, but I just want to give you the insights as so you take the full comparison of the people mover market into consideration. This is the build price on Kia's website. Now, understandably, it's not comparing apples with apples, okay? You're comparing a totally different car. It's just the shape we're looking at. So, the GT line, which is a top spec in diesel, it's front wheel drive, just under $78,000 driveway, so $77,840. Let's look at the Lexus, okay? So remember, the Lexus is supported locally. You get local manufacturing warranty and all of that stuff, but it is a hybrid. So let's look at the build and the price. Okay, so you look over here, there's two variants of the Lexus LM over here. So you've got the 500H, which is only 4 seats, so that's not something we're going to compare on. We are going to compare the 7-seat, the People Mover version, which is the LM350H. It says selected over here, and look at the price. It's $172,737 for a hybrid. So right now it's about $19,000 difference to the 6-seater version, and then a couple of $1,000 more, say $23,000 difference between the 7-seater Zeekr 009, that's full electric car, right? So that's the first comparison there. Okay, now let's look at the Mercedes. Alright, so Mercedes EQV, I haven't really seen any on the road, actually, to be honest. But the price you can see here, indicative drive-away, 170, 173, and so forth. So even if you take the benefit of the doubt and you can get this base model here, or this entry level, at the 170, the Lexus over here is 172, this one is here 171 for argument's sake, and jumping back to the Zeekr, you're talking about 153 for the 6-seater version, and it was 149 something for the other one. And so that's Mercedes. So let's look at Toyota. Okay, and let's look at the pricing for the Toyota Alphard / Toyota Velfire. So remember, some of these are used models at the start, and these are private imports, so the warranty is potentially just with the dealer or the importer that you're getting it from, not supported by Toyota locally. So you can see these ones are 104,000 roughly. You've got these at 200 kilometers, 5,000. This is where we're starting to see really low kilometers. However, the bulk of it with the really low kilometers might be on page 2, 18 kilometers, 10 kilometers. So you're looking at roughly $110,000 is what it seems like the average for one of these cars. Now these are excluding government charges. So we click on this, 114,638 drive away. Now of course, it's going to definitely be a cheaper car because it's not supported locally, 114,638 versus Zeekr's roughly $150,000. You've got Mercedes 170, you've got Lexus at 170s, and the Kia, well, we're not comparing it, it's just to let you know that it's in the 70-something, $80,000 mark. So that brings me back to this page. Two variants, 135,900 and 6-seater 139,900. Where am I going with this? Well, the news is Zeekr's 009 has been ADR approved with a third variant. And the third variant is single motor. So it should actually slot in beneath this because the two existing versions are actually dual motor all-wheel drives with an amazing 0 to 100 time. So the question is, what specs are we going to see besides the drop in the motor, and how much difference is it going to be? So let's look at the ADR approval because I've got it right here and I'm going to take you straight through it. So this was only approved a couple of days ago. So there are 3 variants. So if you can see on the left hand side, we've got this first one, this second one, and the third one down here. Picture wise it's the same, right? So variant information, just pay attention to the code. So this is F3. We've got another one here that is F4, and then the third one down here which is also F4. So if we look at the first one, which is F3, you can see over here, it's 7 seats. You've got 4 doors, 1 rear door, which is fine, 2770 in terms of weight. So again, remember, 7 seats, okay? If we look at the next one, this is the 6-seater at 2870. And let's look at the third one, which is also 2870, and it is also 7 seats. So right now you've got 2 7-seater versions and 1 6-seater version, 2870 in terms of weight, 2870 in terms of weight, and 2770. So what does that tell me? That tells me that the front motor weighs 100 kilos. So that's what you're losing out on as far as we're aware. Everything else looks the same at the moment. Now let's go into the next level of detail. So let's dive down deeper. So remember, this is the first one, which was the F3 variant at the top over here. So if we scroll down to page 2, you will see engine details, EF2 250 kilowatt motor as standard. service brakes, rims, and all of that stuff is here. You will see, actually, that's the first thing that is noticeably different. So it's 19-inch wheels as standard and 20-inch as the option. So that's first point of difference that we know. So you lose out on the front motor, so it's just rear motor, and you do have 19-inch wheels and 20-inch wheels are the option. And then everything else is standard. And then it jumps on to the next one. So this one here is the 6-seater model. And you'll see in engine details, see you've got EF2. Now you've got a front and a rear motor. And then you can see transmission, front, rear as well. And then it looks like you've got 19 standard and 20-inch as optional. So actually, looking at this further, if I jump back to the Zeekr website and we scroll down, it says here 20-inch Starlight Aero alloy. So this means that potentially, now obviously final specs need to be confirmed and everything, but it seems like this version now is going to be dropped back to a 19-inch with optional at 20-inch, whereas at the moment we only have the 20. This is just all speculation. There is nothing confirmed. This is just information that has been submitted for ADR approval in Australia. There still could be corrections in it, so just take that into consideration. But this is an official government approval document. Either way, so as I said, it's dual motor, the 200 at the front, 250 at the rear, 19-inch standard with a 20-inch option. So this was the 6-seater. And then let's scroll on to the third variant. So this is again the 7-seater version. And this should be the one with also dual motor. So you see over here, dual motor. And again, 19-inch standard for front and rear, and then 20-inch as the option. This just general information on the VIN and where it's located. Now this page here is on the motor. So you see here, remember F3 was the new single motor variant. So you can see these two here for the 200 kilowatt motor is only for the F4, which indicates these are the dual motor ones. And because the new version is only single motor, these ones would be for the front. And this is the one that weighs around 100 kilos. Then 250 kilowatt, you can see over here, F3 and the two F4s. So this is the same motor across all three variants. Looking through here for the brakes, it looks like they are all the same with all three variants over here. Then here's some information on the transmission. So the rear for the two variants over here, you've got the front one over here and the front one for the two dual motor options over here. Scrolling further down, so here are the wheel specifications. So 250/550 R19, you'll see standard across three ranges, and then you'll see that these ones here were the option versions at 20-inch over here. So it says here OPT for optional. This next bit here, suspension, looks to be the same for all three variants. And the rest of these things, pause the screen here if you want to read that, but they look to be all the same across all three variants. And the same thing applies to airbags, central locking, autonomous steering as well, the same across all three. And we're at the end. And so, that is the news. Zeekr 009, based on ADR approval, there is a new single motor that looks like is coming soon. So the ultimate question is, based on knowing that the price is definitely going to be lower than the expected prices today, how much lower is it going to need to be for you to consider this car if you have a people mover today, or if you're in the hunt for one? What price point would you like to see it at? For me personally, I think if it was going to be a single motor offering everything else, I would like to see it at minimum $10,000 less. I think that's going to make it very, very compelling. But for me personally, I would still take the all-wheel drive any day of the week. That 0 to 100 time, and the confidence that you'll have in the dual motor, the traction you'll have. Not that you need it, right? It's always a want. It's never a need when you talk about cars like these. Yeah. So I personally think $10,000 less, it's going to be very compelling. But if you look at the pricing comparison, it already is a competitively packaged vehicle. Yes, it's an expensive car. It commands a premium price because it is a premium build if you've ever sat in one. So you can see, as I said, 150 drive away for the Zeekr 009. Your Toyota Alphard's around 115 that you could buy. But again, remember the warranty and it's not electric and whatnot. The EV side of things, Zeekr at 150. You've got your Mercedes entry point at about 170. You've got your Lexus, again, is not electric, but is at 170. And that's pretty much it. Until the Xpeng X9 comes, which we don't know the price yet, that is pretty much the competition here in Australia. There is the LDV Mufa 9, which I have not included in here. I haven't really seen any at all on the roads, so I haven't put that into the comparison. But in terms of price, that's sitting around the $120,000, $130,000 mark as well. So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you felt this was informative. If you have any questions, drop it in the comment box below. Make sure you give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more content, and I'll see you soon for more.